The group of friends were extremely surprised after seeing the captain's giant form, blaming him for almost stepping on them. Kizaru couldn't escape and praised the main character for being truly huge, stating that he would not hand over Dr. Vegapunk to him. The Marine Admiral thought it would be better if the group left him to do his work. But Luffy refused and dragged his opponent elsewhere to fight. In this state, he could do anything, and as a result, Kizaru was thrown around everywhere by the young man. Then he used his arm to spin and throw him with extreme force, sending him flying far away. After doing so, he even turned around and laughed as if it were nothing. Brook below sighed that he finally got to see Luffy's new form with his own eyes, but then remembered that he didn't have eyes. Nami saw that he was acting crazy and punched him. The current situation was extremely urgent, so everyone had to quickly run before it was too late. While Luffy was holding off Kizaru, they had to carefully bring Robin along. There was also Stussy, but at this moment, Dr. Vegapunk suddenly saw Bonney with Sentomaru. After being kicked into the shield, she was also having a lot of difficulty. Chopper asked where Atlas was going and learned that they needed to regain control of the pacifistas. Otherwise they could very likely destroy this place as soon as the barrier disappeared. On the island, no one had higher authority than Vegapunk, so this was a very good idea. Whoever controlled the pacifistas would win. Just as they were about to leave, Dr. Vegapunk stopped them. He knew this was very dangerous but insisted on going with them because he wanted to save Bonney. Usopp stepped forward to stop him because he was the target, and the old man became flustered and turned to scold Frankie for letting Bonney stay below. Knowing that the girl was still alive, his friend was quite happy and recounted that Kizaru had kicked her into the shield earlier. He himself couldn't do anything, so this time he would go to save her. Hearing this, the old man also decided to go with them and asked Edison here to turn off the barrier. Sanji also overheard the conversation. After learning that the pretty girl had been kicked away, this young man was quite angry. He said that if they wanted to save Bonney, they should let him join. All the luggage had been collected, so the rescue team agreed to meet at the back door. Since there wasn't much time left, Dr. Vegapunk also handed over everything here to Edison. At this moment, Frankie was blaming himself, thinking that if he had been a little faster then, he could have saved Bonney. Lilith saw this and kicked him, saying that worrying now wouldn't help. She allowed her friend to go ahead and left this place to her. Hearing this, Frankie was very touched and asked her to take care of the Sunny for him. The girl also looked excited when she saw Luffy throwing Kizaru very far away. The robot brother turned back and said proudly that their captain would never lose. At this moment, Bonney was being hunted everywhere by the Marines. Knowing that she couldn't hide any longer, she decided to fight. Many Marine soldiers were affected by her Devil Fruit ability and lost their fighting capability. The information reported that everyone in the central area had been turned into old people or children. Upon receiving the news, they informed others to be vigilant against the pirate Bonney's Devil Fruit ability. After fighting, the girl was very tired and sat down to catch her breath. At this moment, Sentomaru was also found in a terrible state. His whole body was burned, and it was unclear if he would survive. Bonney remembered that when she collided with the shield and fell, this friend had caught her. Although in critical condition, Sentomaru still urged her to run immediately because the Marines were coming. She didn't know if she could hide here until everything was over. In another development, the battle between Zoro and Lucci was still very intense. After transforming, his opponent was using speed to make things difficult for him. He also asked the Straw Hat Swordsman not to hinder his work. Zoro replied that even if he ran around in circles, he would know where he was because he smelled like an animal. Hearing this, Lucci lunged forward to punch, but all his attacks were blocked. The two strong individuals continued to unleash a series of techniques. Our swordsman was thrown into the air but was still able to gain the upper hand. He used his two swords to clash with Lucci's fists and made him spin around and fall to the ground. Luffy saw them fighting and laughed with delight. He even asked if Zoro needed any help, to which he replied that he didn't need it because he was more than capable of defeating this guy. He also advised the captain to focus on fighting Kizaru. Just like that, the two sides continued to exchange blows, but neither had landed a hit yet. Seeing his opponent panting, Zoro declared that if that was all the strength he had, he shouldn't dream of fighting their captain. Lucci also laughed and praised him, saying he was indeed very strong. He was worthy of being the number 2 under a Yonko. He thought that if he could kill Zoro, it would be a remarkable achievement. As for Kizaru, after being thrown by the main character, He was still falling straight into the sea. But when he was close to touching the water, he used his devil fruit ability to return his body to Luffy's location. This speed was just enough for Straw Hat to react. When he turned his head to look, he saw a bunch of dazzling lights flying towards him. Not stopping there, Kizaru split himself into many copies to attack him. Luffy made an unbelievable face and tried to dodge the attacks aimed at him. Although outnumbered, in his sun god Nika form, he was still strong enough to fight back. After eliminating countless copies of Kizaru, he continued to split into more. Being attacked by the light, he felt blinded and couldn't see. Kizaru thought he was gaining the upper hand, but then the main character turned into a giant. With his top-notch tactical mind, Luffy probably thought that with a large body, he could block the opponent's light, and that was indeed the case. As with just one swing of his arm, a bunch of copies were scattered. On the contrary, the Marine Admiral saw the giant target as easier to hit, so he also aimed for the head. However, before he could get close, he was blown away by Luffy's inflated mouth. The other copies had to work together to hold his body and continue chasing the Straw Hat Pirate. Luffy found it annoying and didn't know which one was his real body. After tricking the opponent into getting close, he unleashed a powerful kick that scattered all of them. The young man wondered if he had hit the real body. Then he turned around and saw Kizaru had caught his crewmates below. It turned out that Luffy was the one who had been tricked all along. Brook asked the Marine Admiral to release Usopp immediately. The old man asked them where Vegapunk was. Poor Straw Hat's sniper had his mouth covered and could only call out Luffy's name. Suddenly, there was a loud noise outside that caught everyone's attention. It turned out to be Dr. Vegapunk driving a car to rescue Bonney. Sanji happened to be there and asked to join him. He was in a hurry and didn't want the marine soldiers to touch Bonney. He couldn't abandon a child like that, so he would try his best. Sanji then also tried to get inside. Kizaru knew that was the target to eliminate, so he let go of Usopp. Seeing this, Straw Hat shouted for them to stay inside the house because if they went out, they would be targeted. As soon as he finished speaking, Kizaru used light to shoot directly at the car. However, that technique was unexpectedly swallowed by Luffy. This scene shocked the others. Lilith below suddenly saw Frankie return with the others and didn't understand what was happening. His friend asked to use General Frankie to take the ship away. He himself would go with Dr. Vegapunk's group. As for the Straw Hat Pirate, after eating that light, he had some problems. The light spread throughout his body and then radiated everywhere through his eyes and mouth. Thanks to him, Dr. Vegapunk's group was able to escape outside. Edison inside had just opened the barrier but had to close it again. Below, the marine soldiers had also discovered the target to be eliminated was walking on the clouds. This news was reported so that everyone was ready to shoot it down. Seeing this, Atlas stuck his head out and shouted, ordering the pacifistas to change targets, demanding that all marine soldiers on the island be eliminated. This order was immediately carried out, causing the marine side to be afraid as they became the target again.